So, I turned Garten of BanBan into a VR game. Now, if you didn't know, Garten of BanBan is a horror game made by the Euphoric brothers, where you go to BanBan's kindergarten in search for your missing child, encountering multiple failed experiments during your journey to find said child. Well, a few months ago, YouTuber Unique Geese remade Garten of BanBan in a week, and that was really good. Then, a few months later, Squeaks the Corgi, I probably messed that up, made a multiplayer version of Garten of BanBan, so I thought, why not join in on the trend? I did this by remaking the Garten of BanBan for VR, as the iOS and console versions are being developed by the Euphoric brothers themselves, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, the first day of development was spent watching countless VR tutorials on how to set up an XR Origin rig in Unity, which is how you can use VR in Unity games. Day 2 was spent modelling the entrance area and kitchen. I used some models from Sketchfab because Blender to me is harder to learn than quantum physics. And originally I was going to recreate the keycard system from the original, but that would require a lot of wacky collider work that I don't know how to do, so I decided to make it easier. To progress from room to room, you pull vents off the wall and crawl through. Since I have no idea how to edit the continuous move provider in Unity, which is what allows you to move around in VR, and there were no tutorials, I decided that the player will have to physically crouch to go through it. Sorry to anyone who hits their head during those parts. To explain how that works, I made a note on the table giving a bit of an explanation as well as some lore, I guess. Day 3 was spent making the classroom and Opila's playground. Originally, Opila would be around the corner and slink away when the player approached her, like in the original. But the animation was messed up because I'm really bad at animating, so I decided that she'd be on the other side of the window, and when the player hits a trigger, she'd knock on the window, and when they go through a door, a script would run to make it disappear. Now, that did work at first, but later on it broke, and I have no idea how to fix it because everything seems in order, just the audio doesn't play for some odd reason. I then created Opila's playground, which was quite easy. However, I had no idea how to create the egg collection minigame, so I decided that I'd go back to that later on. On day 4, I made the chase scene, and that took me a whole day. I wrote a script that made Opila detect the player and chase them. I coupled that with a trigger that destroys the wall and everything in front of you, plays a scream, and Opila starts running towards you. I also made Opila a tiny bit faster than the player, so if the player is too slow to start running, they will get jump scared. Then I made a simple elevator that reveals Jumbo Josh, and the player has to jump off of the elevator to get to the credits, with my absolute superb voice acting. Days 5 to 7 were spent polishing, working through errors and creating the credits menu, main menu, and jump scare animation menu. Finally, I was ready to publish the game, and I was rapidly closing in on the deadline, so I built it and made this video. And by the time you see this, it should be up on itch.io. And with that, I am done. I will never touch VR again, unless I am absolutely begged to. Developing in VR is horrible because my link cable, which is what allows me to use my VR, is absolute trash. But if you do enjoy these types of videos, let me know and I'll probably make more because I enjoy making games, but most of them will probably be 3D from now on. You can also suggest the next game for me to make down below in the comments or in my Discord server, which will be linked in the description. If you boost my Discord server, you can get early access to any games in the future, and dev streams if I can set them up to be private or unlisted. But with that said, I'll see you all in the next video. Astronomical, out.